Jerusalem. It's not just a name, but rather a piece of history itself. This ancient city is one of the holiest sites for three religions: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. When we first visited the city, we stood on Mount Olives. According to the Bible, this was the area from where Christ took flight for heaven after resurrection. And indeed, watching the entire city is a mighty sight. That evening, after we settled in our hotel, we walked into the walled city of Jerusalem. This is the Damascus Gate, from which we are going to enter. This wall was built by Ottoman Emperor Suleiman the Magnificent. We are now walking towards the Wailing Wall or the Western Wall. It is said that King David's son Solomon built a temple on the spot. It was destroyed by King Nebuchadnezzar, and King Herod built another temple here. The Wailing Wall is the only remaining wall of the second temple. This is the holiest site in Judaism, and all the Jewish people come and touch their heads to the wall and wish for the revival of their glory. Seeing this that night and the next morning was a remarkable experience. There are four quarters in the city: Armenian, Christian, Jewish, and Islamic. This is King David's tomb. David, the first king of the Jews, is said to have been buried here. It is debatable how authentic this claim might be, but it still stands and still sends chills down your spine. Let us go to the Christian quarters now. Here, this is the Last Supper room. It is said that Christ has his last meal in this spot. Another point can be mentioned that the olive garden Christ spent the last night in is also visible here, and a church has been built upon it, the Church of All Nations, just out of the city. This is perhaps the most important site in Christianity, the Holy Sepulchre Church. Legend has it, Christ was crucified right here. This is the crucifixion spot. Imagine, one of the greatest events in history took place here. And this is where he was laid after death. And this was where he was buried, from where he stood back again. The church itself was built in 335 and its building is occupied by 6 denominations of Christianity. Therefore, nothing in the church can be moved without 6 groups' permissions, and it has resulted in things like this ladder, which belongs to none of the groups, and therefore it remains there for 300 years. And going to the Holy Sepulchre Church, Christ marched with his cross. In this line, there are 16 stations in which he
Lions
tumbled,
Gate.
stopped, and this one is station number 3, where he first tumbled. Now we come to East Jerusalem. Most important site here is the Dome of the Rock, the third most important mosque in Islam after Mecca and Medina. You may be wondering why the Dome of the Holy Rock is so important. Actually, it is believed that in this location, Abraham was going to perform his sacrifice, the sacrifice of his son, before the angel stopped him. Then, according to Islam, Muhammad went to heaven from this place and received the Quran from the Allah, and he came back again on the same spot. Thus, this point is very important. It is actually seated on the site of the Herod's temple, and many claim this to be part of Palestine. The Dome of Rock was built in 1023, and before the construction of the Great Mosque at Kaaba, the namaz was read facing this way. The Dome of Rock is indeed a fabulous building which has established a very honorable position in our hearts. If you walk in Jerusalem for 20 minutes, you will see so many people, from black-robed Jews to Christians with crosses to the Muslims. Can you imagine? This city has 3 religious headquarters in it. It is just unbelievable. This is the tomb of Oskar Schindler, who was one of the very few men who helped the Jews during the Nazi regime. To every human in this world, this is one of the most important sites. And indeed, Jerusalem is no doubt one of the most fascinating cities I have ever seen in my life.